This is Miss Phyllis Bragg and Dorothea Jackson. You can continue to eat while they do the talk on this initiative. They're having hope. Well, you tell them. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda, for having us again, and good evening to everybody. And as Linda said, my name is Phyllis Bragg, and I'm the president of Chi Eta Phi Nursing Sorority, Zeta Eta chapter for Fort Wayne.
I'm Dorothea Jackson, and I'm a registered nurse and also part of the sorority.
And I'm a registered nurse as well. So, and actually to be a part of our nursing sorority, you have to be a professional nurse. And we are predominantly African-American nursing organization. So we're here today to talk to you guys about infant mortality. I don't know if you guys have been hearing about it in the news or watching all the media that's going on with infant mortality. So first of all, what is infant mortality? So infant mortality is when a baby dies before their first birthday, okay? And so what happened is, last January, it was brought to our attention that our 46806 zip code had the highest infant mortality rate in Indiana. Wow. And it was mostly impacted, like I said, in the 46806 zip code, and it was our black babies. So the rate is that black infants are 2.5 times more likely to die before their first birthday versus white babies. So it's not that white babies are not dying, we're just dying double, okay? So what we did was, once it was brought to our attention, Parkview Hospital Lutheran reached out to us and say, what can you guys do, okay? Because of course, like I said, we are a predominantly black nursing sorority. So what we did was we got together and we met as a group, and we said, okay, so the one thing we have to do is get the awareness out to the community, because we wasn't aware of that information, so we know that the community wasn't aware of this as well. So what are some of the things that we can do to get this information out there? So we decided, well, we'll put together some education videos, and they were set up in 30-second increments. We put together 5 videos set up for 30 seconds, and we did that intentionally because, number one, we had to get that information out, be direct, straight to the point, and we're trying to capture that young audience, because that's who's impacting these numbers, is our young black women, okay? And so also, it was set up that way so we could use them as public service announcements. And so I don't know if you've seen them, but all of this TV stations have been running those videos throughout the last week, and they're gonna be running up until, actually 2 of them are gonna run for about another month, okay? And so we have a huge event that we are having tomorrow. It's going to be at the American Legion. It's from 12 to 3. We have some flyers that we're going to be giving out to you guys in regards to what's going to be going on at that time. If you know of any young black women, that's pregnant, please have them to come, because actually we're going to be doing some education on safe sleep. And at that time, they will be giving them free packing plays if they, need those, because babies need to be sleeping alone. So we'll go off into that information as well. But the one thing that I want to bring up, and then I'm going to let Dorothy talk, is when we initially got that information, it was the 2013 statistics. So the Indiana State Department of Health, what they do is, this data is released every other year. So we had the 2013 information, and then we just recently got the 2015 stats. So not only is it our 46806 zip code, it's our 46805 as well, without black babies. So we got a problem, and we need to work on it, and we need to get the awareness out there, not only to these parents, but to the grandparents and any caregivers that's taking care of these babies. Okay. So we're going to pass this information out, and so on the front it's by zip codes in Indiana. It's going to tell you what those stats are, and then on the back is the map, and it tells you like the highest number down here, Allen County, we're up here, and we're in that color in regards to the highest number of black infant mortality.
Ms. Phyllis, could I add to that, on to why that's occurring, or were you going to cover why that's occurring?
Yes, we are.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
pass these out, and we're gonna definitely address those. And actually, what we did was we actually addressed it in the videos as well.
Oh, okay.
Each area. So in those videos, we felt that we need to have people in those videos that look like them, and also people in the community that they know. So we are in those videos,
Right.
and then we have some younger Black women. We even felt that it was important to have a male figure in that video as well, because the stigma is that they don't have, Black women do not have men in the lives of those churches. And we also find that statistics do show that these babies do make it to their first birthday when there's a male figure a part of their life. If it's the dad, the grandfather, or uncle, and there is data out there to support that. And so we don't want them thinking that everybody that has a Black child does not have a male figure in their lives. And so we intentionally put a Black male in that video. So we're hoping that we can show you guys those videos as well if you haven't seen them. And so Dorothy's going to talk about some of the reasons why our numbers are so high.
Okay. So Phyllis talked about the high rate in the 4680 zip code. Not only was it the highest in Indiana, but it was also the 5th highest in the USA. So we definitely had a problem, because in that time frame when we got that, we had 34 babies to die, Black babies to die. And that's a lot of babies. So we wonder, well, why isn't people paying attention? Well, we have all these different Black churches, because we figured somebody was burying those Black babies. And so we figured, they wasn't going to the same church. People are not communicating as a group, in the neighborhood, figuring out why they were dying. So one of the reasons we looked at, and we talked to a lot of people, and we looked at the reason why these babies were dying. We spoke with the Indiana State Health Commissioner, who's a Black physician, and he came up a month ago and spoke to the Black health professional in Fort Wayne about doing things to help curb this or try and decrease this. So the number one reason is prenatal care. We have our young teenagers who don't go to the doctor, and that first 3 months are so important. And they're so afraid to tell their parents or to reach out for help. So by the time they get to the hospital, they're ready to deliver that baby. And so their chance of survival is low at that time. And so that was the number one reason. The second reason was SIDS, sudden infant death. And that's because of a lot of times of their sleeping habits, sleeping in the bed with the parents or with another sibling. And it doesn't take a lot to suffocate a baby, or the practice that they still sleep on their stomach. They need to be on their back, they need to be in their own crib with nothing in there with them. So that was the second reason, highest reason that caused the death. The other one was traumatic brain damage, shaking the baby, parents getting angry, hitting the baby at a young age. That was the third one. The fourth one was obesity. A lot of our young kids are heavy set, and so that causes problem also. Smoking was another big one, secondhand smoking or the parents smoke. So anytime you smoke, your baby is going to be smaller, and a lot of them stay in the prenate before they can go home. So that was a big one also. So those are the 5 things that we looked at and concentrate on, because those was the reason that came from the health department that causes these babies to die. So most of our programs look at that, the videos look at that. We're still in the process of developing more health initiative, and we do need the community behind us, because we can't do it without you guys. And so we really, when we come, and ask for help, set up programs in your church, we really need your help, because we figure the church is the main source of communicating with the neighborhood. You know your neighborhood, you know your people who attend your church. So that was one of the things that we want to do, is reach out to the minister in Fort Wayne to help us. Also, the 2 major Black organizations, Codify and African American Health Alliance, is partnering together to help decrease infant mortality in Fort Wayne. All the hospitals have reached out to us, because they realize that Black people respond to Black people because they know that we care, and that they have a better outcome than them white people coming in and addressing the problem. So that's why they've reached out to us. The state has reached out to us in this area. So, and now we're reaching out to the community to help us decrease this.
So our goal is, like I said, is to get the awareness out there to the community and also to reduce these infant deaths. So if we can save one baby, then we've reached somebody. So, another thing that Dorothy you mentioned was breastfeeding. So in our videos, we actually have a young lady that is breastfeeding. Because number one, there's always been a stigma attached to breastfeeding. Black people don't breastfeed. White people breastfeed. And I have a couple of my staff, they're in their 30s, and they both said, when I went to the doctor, they just said, are you gonna breastfeed? Yes or no. That was it. Didn't tell them the importance of breastfeeding. So a lot of times we're white people. We need to know why, and we're visual. They don't realize that those babies, that breastfeeding, number one, the milk is free. Number two is it helps them to develop their immunity. So they have less ear infections, they have less colds, less respiratory problems when those babies are breastfed. It also helps with bonding. So they're getting attached to that mom and just developing that relationship. So now you don't have those babies that are failure to thrive. I don't know if you guys are familiar with failure to thrive, because they've not been held and they just, been, sitting over there and just, they left in the bed or whatever, and they don't gain weight or anything. So you don't have that with those breastfed babies because they're bonding with their moms. So we have been collaborating with the Indiana State Department of Health, and so one of the things that we want to do as a sorority is actually to have our own pack and plays to be able to give to these ladies in the community, where the need is. Because number one, yes, Parkview is offering that, but a lot of times what we're seeing is they can't get to these appointments. So it's like, everybody's saying, why is this happening with them? And when you talk to these young ladies, they don't go for their prenatal visits because they probably have other kids. I got to pack them up. I got to make an appointment. I got to get somebody to watch them. It's too much. So not only are they hiding them, now they don't go to their appointments. And so we're going to have a dietitian there tomorrow to talk to them about the importance of that early prenatal care, because they need to be seen by a doctor within the first 3 weeks of their pregnancy. And because they need to have those vitamins with that folic acid in that. That folic acid is very important because within those first 3 weeks, that brain is forming. If they don't have that folic acid to help with that, and also that spinal cord, now you're going to have all these congenital malformations. They're going to have a small brain, what we call anencephaly, or they're going to have spina bifida, a big hole in their spine, and once they're born, they're just not going to make it. So those are the problems that you're seeing. So they have to have those vitamins with that folic acid. And so when they go around to her booth tomorrow, so that's why we need those young ladies there, because they need to know the importance of getting to that doctor. Like you said, the first thing you think, who am I going to tell? And we talk about that in one of the videos. I was a teenage mom. My first thought was, I can't tell them. My mom and dad, they're going to be mad, they're going to be disappointed. But what I did was, I told my neighbor. My neighbor, oldest sister, told my mom. And she said, don't be mad, I know you're mad, but she's pregnant and we need to do something about it. And I was to that doctor within a week. So at least, I said something, but now they're wearing the baggy clothes, and they can hide it. Sometimes they never get those prenatal visits. So not having those prenatal visits, we have 60% of our young ladies that does not get that early prenatal care. We have more than 15% of them that's still smoking while they're pregnant. So it causes that early preterm labor, that placenta separating from their body, they have the bleeding. So, it's a lot of things going on, but they need to know. So if we don't put that awareness out there, the safe sleep. When we had kids, you put them in bed, you prop that bottle up, you put them on their side, you put them on their stomach. You had all kind of teddy bears and stuff in there. All that stuff is a no-no. There should be nothing in that crib. So if you guys take anything away from here tonight, I want you to remember the ABCs. A, that baby needs to sleep alone. B, they need to sleep on their back. C, they need to be in the crib. Okay? Thank you.